And we're back, I think.
Who's starting this?
I'm happy to start it. So first of all, welcome to BremSter. Wow, I was having so much fun watching the students. We wanted to start by thanking a few. It's been a long stream. I'm not sure I can speak. Thanking a few donations. Mark's nemesis has donated with the message of making sure that he's not volunteering himself or herself. They are not volunteering themselves to solve Orb 2, right? And then Elf's Girl Sarah has donated also. And we appreciate those donations very much. We'd also like to remind everybody that the 9th, 45th, and 81st donators will get a hippo plushie donated by Glum Hippo. So thank you, Glum Hippo, for those. I think we may already be past the 9th donator, but I'm not. Nice donor, the 9th donor. But wow, I swear I have not been off hitting the booze on the in between things. Stone cold sober. You couldn't tell it from my speech at the moment. I think we've already hit the 9th donor, but I don't have the authority to say who that was. So keep the donations coming, because the 45th and 81st donors will also get plushies. So there we go. The donation is, thank you, Elf Girl Sarah. That's a great Termy donator.
Donationist is
All right. I now have lots of ragging to take, but we're happy to be here with BremSter. So, and the students may wander back in, but they are in raiding the
food,
cookie, brownie, sausage roll, and brioche pile. So yes. All right.
Food matters.
Food matters.
Oh.
Food matters.
So how are you, Brem?
So I awake. It's very
early in the morning
here. Yeah, well, I've been here for a few hours, as you know. So it's 8:30 right now, but I've been here since about 6 a.m. Yeah. So I have no idea. I mean, I'm free for alling this. So what is it that you would like to talk about that's appropriate for the stream?
Well, I have some thoughts, but I also want to quickly do a shout out to Daniel K., who just donated $27 with a message of 3 cubed. That's 3 in its own corner. So thank you, Daniel K. So one of the things I wanted us to talk about was your problem series, because we've used your problem series extensively in the class. Not only in this Puzzles and Paradoxes class, but I actually taught a class for non-majors, people who are terrified of math in general and have to take a math class to graduate. And it's a course that has sort of a free structure of go do something mathematical with mathematical thinking and reasoning. And so I included a puzzles unit, and I included sort of a set of 5 or 6 of your problem series for those students. Can you tell us a little bit about the problem series? Maybe it may be the case that not everybody knows about the problem series.
So the Sudoku problem series originally came on from a couple of people talking to me. I think it was a discussion that we had on Skunkworks, which I cannot call out enough for being a community that is a location that has supported the Sudoku community so much. But we were talking about how we come up with different ideas of Sudoku logic, and then we try and figure out, often we have these really nice, ideas of, this is a really nice trick we can do with a piece of, a particular Sudoku constraint or a particular Sudoku trick. And then often you have to try and figure out how to make a whole puzzle out of that. And sometimes it destroys the nice little logic that you see, because in completing the puzzle, you lose that opening or you lose that interesting trick because you open it up for other things. So how do you just showcase this? How can you demonstrate just one piece of Sudoku logic? And that's where the problem series came from, a bit like a chess problem. With a chess problem, it's like, what move do you make next to lead to a very sudden, or to, the next step that is going to be? What is the opening step or the next step in this puzzle? And it was incredibly popular for a while. I don't have a link for it ready, but I will get one once this is done.
We can pop
students.
one in just a second.
Yeah, I've got a playlist. I don't have it ready.
We'll pull
but
it. You
yeah,
keep talking.
yeah, so the whole point of it was to basically showcase those. And we did, I think it was 130 different ones. Some of them could be solved by people in a few seconds. Some of them took people, even with just the single deductions that we wanted people to make, as much as 10 or 15 minutes, depending on the difficulty. And they were all rated from very easy to very hard. And it was a lot of fun. The series tended to stagnate because people lost a bit of interest in it. They were very hard to make. It kind of died. The wrong wording, when my father did. And I lost a lot of time to put the work into it. But it, it was just, as I'd like to revisit it with some of the new constraints that people have come up with. It was just a huge amount of work putting that in. But it's a very interesting thing of going back and just looking at what are some of the basic concepts of the different constraints. And that was the whole point of it, not trying to come up with anything overly complex, just honing in on the fundamentals. Sorry, I'm rambling. Sorry about that. I always do that.
That's great. That's great. The way we've used them with students is, especially some of the ones that have just one constraint, because you have them graded from easy to medium to hard to very hard, it's easy to set up sort of a string of them. And we've used several of them as warm-ups. The students earlier were mentioning that we have warm-ups at the start of class. So we will have a problem that is the warm-up for the class, and then we can build on that logic as we're talking about setting or solving with that constraint. And then the ones that combine constraints then sort of pull that next piece of how do they interact.
Yep. So, yeah. A couple of the interesting things is that some of the Sudoku problems are actually not valid Sudoku grids. If you try and continue that or add constraints to the grid, the overall grid would not be possible. But you didn't need to worry about that, because to solve the problem, you only needed to get certain digits. The rest of the grid was completely meaningless. So as a full Sudoku, you could not have continued to build a full puzzle out of it. But within the scope of these are the only digits you need to determine, it actually worked. Yeah, it was a nice way of showcasing interactions and to learn things, which is something I love. The thing I love the most about puzzle is exploring little oddities that the constraints can do, and sort of those neat little interactions.
Yeah. One of the favorite things that I have is when we are trying to set a puzzle and suddenly something surprisingly breaks.
Yes.
And then you're stunned that the puzzle broke, and then you have to figure out what the logic was that made it break. And
I love that when I'm setting. I hate that when I'm solving.
Oh yeah.
Particularly on camera.
Yeah. How did I break this puzzle? Exactly. Yeah. So I do have an update, not trying to get away from the problem series, but we have official word that the 9th donor and the winner of the first of the plush hippo plushies is Miko Kisai, who made a $50 donation as the 9th donor. So congratulations, and it'll be on somebody else to figure out how to get that plushie to Miko Kisai. So but I think we're getting close to 45th donors, so there'll be another one going out sometime before too much longer.
And we're getting close to the goal even.
Yes, yeah. Where are we at 2,223 plus $500 corporate match, yeah. So yeah. And so that's fantastic. We certainly don't want to stop at 3,000 if we can get over that $3,000 goal, because
it will really help.
It will help with additional expenses and in terms of getting the con up and running. So yeah.
And thank you to iFletcher for a donation. We really appreciate that.
Oh, I did not even see that. Wonderful. Thank you, I. Fletcher. And I am going to go see if the students have had enough sausage rolls and brownies that some of them can come back. So the two of you can continue talking while I go gather students.
Okay. So which was your favorite problem in the problem series, Brem?
I actually don't remember. It's been a long time since I've looked at it. There was one, I think it was championed. I don't think it was only by Xeon Risk, but there was one where I think Xeon was responsible for the main core of it, which was one that brought a lot of set and everything into it, which with the problem series, I would go into the problem recording knowing the solve path. And I think it took me nearly 8 hours to record because, first of all, I needed to solve it. Then I needed to figure out a way of explaining it. Then I needed to figure out a way of explaining it in a way that was coherent. And it was like, this was just a beast. It is definitely the most memorable of all of them. But I think if I was to pick favorites, it would be some of those easy ones. There were some that had like box 5, which just had 4 domino cages in them. And all you needed to do was use, sum of digits 1 to 9 is 45 and subtract the dominoes and you would get a single digit. Those which teach fundamental concepts, I would say, are some of my favorites. Because they teach fundamental concepts, and that's what it's about, I think.
Yeah, they certainly did a brilliant job of that, I think. And we have some students back in here, so and a cat. And
here, excuse me, I'll squeeze it through here. Where do you want to be? But now we've got a seat in the middle that's open.
So, BremSter, meet some of our favorite students.
Yep.
Damselfly, work in progress.
We're working on it.
What is it?
Now it's Glitch Horse.
Glitch Horse.
I think you should keep it.
Ms. Peacock.
Yes.
Lumos. Bitmap. And
Real One Junior.
Real One Junior.
Okay. I will not remember any of that except Lumos, who I've dealt with a bit in the past.
And the guest appearance of Cupid.
Yeah,
Cupid I've met before.
I can't not like this.
So were you watching when they were solving earlier?
I was, yes. That was a lot of fun.
That would have been so interesting.
At one point I saw you put in the chat, in our chat, that this is your next series of videos, is our students.
Yeah. Absolutely. Get students to solve together, and that energy was just phenomenal. And I mean, I'm never going to force anyone to do anything. Everything that people should do in this entire community should be voluntary. But that energy was just unbeatable. That was wonderful.
We loved it, and to tell the truth, that's what our classes are like as well.
Yeah,
that's the wonderful thing about this course.
It's just amazing. I mean, sitting here, it still blows my mind. I've only ever met one person in real life from the entire Sudoku community, and just seeing the energy of what you've got in the room there just blows my mind, because everyone is just flat to me. Everyone is two-dimensional in the Sudoku community.
Yeah, we are there were you missed some of the comments in chat. This is FullDeck off camera. I know you can't see me right now, but the comments in chat that you couldn't see when you were solving, because of the way the screens are set up, there was so many people saying that it made them feel young again, that it made them feel how fun it was. And one of the things I was saying back to people in chat was, yeah, that's how we feel every day. And they're saying how wonderful you are, what terrific people you're, what young adults, and like, yeah, absolutely. And this is what it makes us so happy to go to work every day. We look forward. I mean, we get to see you 3 days a week. Well, some of you once a week, but it's the days are long, but they're wonderful, and it really is rejuvenating to us as faculty members to have these kinds of interactions. So yeah.
Hi, Peter. Sorry, Peter just said hi. And I mean, I don't know if it's been mentioned yet. Going live tonight for me is the first puzzle in a series I'm calling Sudoku U, which is puzzles created either by or for the class, and that have been submitted to me to solve. And hi, Barbie. Thanks, Riff. Oh man, putting all that together was definitely one of the highlights of my channel. I had a phenomenal month that month.
Some people might not have seen that, Brem, so maybe you should tell them.
So one of the things that I've done on my channel is I've done a couple of Sudoku series. It started with the Hamilton Sudoku series, which ended in the most amazing way possible. But then one of the ones we did was the Barbie Sudoku series, which we did before, where Sven again did an amazing job, and we had all pink grids. Everything was pink. And I solved the 5 puzzles created for it before I saw the movie. And then when I saw the movie, it was like one of the concepts was the concept of mansplaining. And it was like, oh boy, do I feel bad about having solved those 5 puzzles. So I wanted to do something about that. And doing the whole hi Barbie joke from the movie and getting as many Sudoku solvers as I could to do that. And then having the entire Sudoku community come together to do a hi Barbie for the intro. Getting BremSter and Ranks, and I don't want to start. If I start talking, I'll forget someone. But there were so many people. Naverio, there was Crusader 175. I got Mark. I got Simon. I got FullDeck missing a few cards. I got Demososis. It's literally everyone was just sending me hi Barbie welcomes that I could cut into a video and then end on Lumos as Sudoku solving Barbie. It was so wonderful. That was just a highlight video for me. So happy to have that on the channel. And that was a mood killer.
Do you all have any questions for BremSter?
How long have you been solving and setting now?
I've been solving. I also found Sudoku really through cracking the cryptic, and I actually joined in October 2019, so slightly before the pandemic. I believe I found them while I was in Germany for Essen in 2019, according to all of the notes that I can find. Not that I was keeping any back then. So that's when I started solving. I started setting in, I think it was late 2020. It could have been early 2021. I could actually check that very, very quickly. So I started setting when I came up with the idea for Psycho Killer. That's when I started setting. I had an idea for a constraint, and then one morning the idea for the puzzle came to me. So that was published in June 2021. So I created that puzzle and published it in only a few days. So it would have been sort of around the 25th of June 2021 is when I started setting. So a couple of years after I started solving.
Very cool.
I never thought I could do it. It just never seemed to make sense to me how people could create these things. And then one day I started, and it's really hard to stop.
Yeah.
It is.
Exactly,
as most people in the chat here will know.
Yes.
That was exactly my experiences. I started watching Cracking the Cryptic very early in the pandemic, right around the time we went into lockdown in the US, so early March of 2020. And I did not dream of setting a puzzle until FullDeck made me a puzzle for Christmas. And I said, wait, you can set puzzles? How the heck do you do that? And a little bit later, then I managed to set things myself. And, it's just great fun.
It really is.
So
It's so fun.
The two things that made it possible for me to start creating were two videos that were posted to Cracking the Cryptic, and one of which was Clover's setting video, and the other one was Zetamat's setting video. Those two videos were, I think, and was responsible for me starting setting. And I think anyone who's getting involving in setting, those are the two videos that you should hunt out. There are others. The entire BremSter setter series you should put onto your watch list at some point, because they're all amazing. But those two videos, for anyone who's interested in getting involved, yeah, check out those two.
I would fully agree on that. A couple of
Tumblers is an amazing. Sorry, I'm responding to chat as well. Yeah, Tumblers is an amazing puzzle riff clown. I absolutely one of my favorites on the channel.
I'm actually not familiar with that. I'll have to look it up after this. I do have a couple of donation announcements. So Missing, you did earlier thank iFletcher for his donation, but you didn't
that was deliberate.
You didn't see
sort
the
of
message.
Identifying the.
Well, nonetheless, the message must be read. There was a donation, and the message is, please kindly remind Missing a Few Cards that he was a non-believer that redacted could win today.
The American hand egg game.
The American hand egg
It's
game.
okay, I was a non-believer too.
So
I have no idea what you're talking about, but that's fine.
It's probably for the best.
It's like Australian rules, only different.
I wouldn't even know if you were talking about that.
So our school's team has not been doing as well as people might like.
You're giving it away.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
But they did actually win today. The other announcement I have with donations is that we have hit.
In the comments, we gotta censor that.
We have we have hit the threshold for the puzzle roast incentive. So we have reached the puzzle roast incentive. So some fun things on donations. And now, so the students were also a bit glum yesterday that we told them they could not wear branded clothing related to our universities. So we are trying to maintain the illusion of anonymity. We're losing that.
I feel like everyone knows. From the
Anyway, so thank you for those people who've been donating. I'm looking forward to the puzzle roast and the extra
Banter that will
cursed.
go on.
Yes, that and the extra cursed puzzles. That's going to be a lot of fun as well.
What's a puzzle roast?
Yeah, what's a puzzle roast?
Oh, I think we will leave that to the gas team to explain. The gas team is up next, and they can explain a little bit more about the extra cursed puzzles and the puzzle roast and what other things we have to look forward to. In fact, let's see, we're closing in on
A little less than 20
we've
minutes.
got about 20 minutes left. So one of the things that you have said, BremSter, is, and one of the things you've been very gracious with, is featuring some of our students. You've mentioned the Sudoku U series that's going to go live on your channel with 5 puzzles, 4 set by our students and 1 set by us. We are already gathering more to send to you.
Excellent.
So there will be some more chapters in that, we hope. But you've also been really generous with having guest solvers, not only us, but much more importantly, Lumos. And we hope that we will have some guest solves on your channel by some of the folks who are here today as they gain some more experience. Damselfly, you're now an old pro. You can.
They would be welcome, but there's also no pressure. No one should be.
Fun.
I mean, one of the reasons I do that is, and I've said this many, many times, to me, this is a community. I'm not doing this to I'm not doing this for any reason other than to promote puzzles. I love the puzzles that I solved. I mean, when I first started my channel, this is an old story. I did it because I wanted to record my puzzles because I forget what the logic is, and I wanted to record solve guides, and I don't like writing them. I'm a technical writer as my job, and I don't want to, as part of my job anyway, and I don't want to do that for my hobby. And I thought, I'm going to learn this recording thing. And I posted a puzzle of mine, and then it sort of took off from there. The first 20 videos on my channel, I think like 12 of them are me doing my own puzzles just for my own purposes. And it kind of just grew and grew and grew. And it wasn't through anything of my own. Like it just sort of happened. People started sending me puzzles saying, do this, do this, do this. And I don't want this to be BremSter doing BremSter things. I want this to be part of a community. I want it to focus on the puzzles. It's why I will, if I fail at a puzzle, I will edit it. I will figure out what I missed. I'm not the best solver in the world. I'm not even close to the best solver in the world. When we look at chat, I look at names and realize half of them at least are better solvers than me. But what I want to do is promote the puzzle. If I have to pause and edit and whatever to be able to show the good logic in the puzzle, I will do that. The puzzle comes first. Yeah, that's always going to be the case. And the community around that is also important. And if that means I showcase other solvers, whatever I need to do to promote the community first, every time.
That's one of the things that I'm so excited about SudokuCon. I hope that everybody who's watching this stream, everybody who's on the stream, guests, MCs, hosts, producers will all be at SudokuCon, the live event in April 2025, which is, of course, what we're this live stream, the fundraising part is about, is to get that off the ground and running. But I really want to, all of you who are sitting there in chat, and all of you who are on the stream, those of you sitting in the room, I want us to all, this sense of community that you're picking up on as they're sitting and laughing and solving together, that's what I want to have with more people, all of you that I know through Discord and through various, chatting and commenting on puzzles on your channel, on CTC, on all of these places. I want to sit around with you and solve puzzles together and have us laugh at each other and say, why didn't you see that 4 in row 2? And because we all see things differently, and having those ways to connect over puzzles is just so important.
We could have groups recording solves live at SudokuCon.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I think that would be great. I mean, SudokuCon for me is a little daunting because I think I did some checking and it's like 30 hours of traveling.
Yep.
And not cheap. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in Melbourne, Australia. I couldn't get further away if I tried, really. So, yeah. But the... I mean, I'm reading chat and seeing all of the people talk about the concept of doing all the Sudoku roasts and everything. If someone has something that they want to present to the Sudoku community, reach out to me. If you want to do Sudoku roasts as a series where once a month you roast one of your own puzzles or get someone to roast one of your puzzles and you want it published somewhere, let me know. I want to try and help people surface the stuff that they do. That's all I care about. I promote other channels. I will send people off to BremSter or Ranks or ZetaMath or Crusader 175, wherever the best place for that is. If you find my channel and you find that through there you find there's another channel that's more suited to you, go there. Absolutely go there. I'm not going to hide the fact that other channels exist. I'm not going to do any of that sort of stuff. We are a community. We should be a community, and we should stay a community. Yeah.
So, Brem, we know you have a patron, but your patron is a little different from some. Would you like to tell us about the new feature that you instituted last month?
So my Patreon, what I've done is the first thing I did is I created a I can't remember a collection of puzzle packs where I grabbed all of the puzzle packs that had been posted for free to my Patreon, and I made it a collection. So you can go through and you can just scroll through and see the puzzle packs as a collection page, and that's linked to in all of my videos that get published at the moment. But the other thing I did is I made it possible that you can join for free. So I don't really have any paid puzzle content on my Patreon. Occasionally there will be a sneak preview that paid members will get, but anything that it gets published to my Patreon will get released for free in some format, either to the channel or to that Patreon page. And because I don't like not paid, unless someone comes to me and says this is, to be paid content or something, I'm not a fan of puzzles that I didn't create. I'm not going to sell them. So joining my Patreon for free as a way where I can promote those packs and promote puzzles is what I've tried to do. It's a new feature. I'm still toying with it. I'm wanting to try and build it's all about community and whatever I can do to grow that. I'm using the fact that I've got 3,500 people, a small number by the standards of most of the channels out there, but I'm trying to use that. I mean, the thing to as I said, promote how I can. That's all I care about, promoting the puzzles. One of the things that I like the most as the feedback from mine is I will get videos that get almost no engagement, and that's fine. But when I look at the solve count, thank you, Sven, so much for the work you do. When I look at the solve count on the puzzle, between when my video goes live and the 36 hours after that, it'll get 1,200 solves. 1,200 people solve a puzzle after I publish it on my channel, or it's normally somewhere between 8 and 1,500, so 1,200 is a good average. Phenomenal. That is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of solve time. That matters more. That will always matter more to me than view time.
Yeah. We love Sven's solve counter as well. It's something we check for lots of our puzzles. So yes. Sven, great big shout out to you for that. Thank you so much. And we're coming to the end of our block. So do any of you want to have any comments you have about the class, about how you're learning Sudoku?
I mean, I'll say, I've always been really into Sudoku, but I didn't really know about varied Sudoku until I took the class. And honestly, it's been a lot of fun, glitch wars, some other people in class will I don't know, do Sudoku at different social things that we go to, outside of class, just for funsies, just whatever. I still I send Sudokus to all my friends, in my classes. I'll do them in between classes. So I will say it is very fun, and I really like the community of people that I've built because of it. So I'll say that.
I'll add something. I didn't really like Sudoku before the class very much. I didn't do a whole lot. And then I hadn't heard about variant Sudoku until I started Viz. But then I actually grew to really like Sudoku as a result. So I've been solving a few in my free time. And I've recently set one for the class. So I'm hoping people will like that one.
Sudoku propaganda is working.
What is big Sudoku hiding from us?
I'll lecture.
Yes.
This is love that guy. One of my best friends. We also do cryptic crosswords in this class we're in. And he loved cryptics, hated Sudokus, and now he won't stop doing them. So it's fun.
Yeah, we are working very hard to convert the entire world to variant Sudoku, one person at a time. So
I bring it up to
everyone I talk to.
Considering the birth rate, it'll only take us forever.
Yeah. No micro-study. They do not now hate cryptic crosswords. They have added to their puzzle affection rather than taken away from it. So, so We do. We only have a few minutes left in our stream. We've got about seven minutes left. So I want to take a moment and do some thank yous,
Yes,
so that we don't
absolutely.
run out of time for that. So I definitely want to thank
Blipperall.
Blipperall for his work as producer behind the scenes. When we had some technical issues at the start, he was working madly behind the scenes along with Sven and World Peon and some others who've been making things run to suggest ways to get us back to connected with the world. Want to thank Sven, of course, as everybody is, for I
The
have
amount of
been
work he's
seeing
done
the
for
chat.
this.
Yes, not only for what he does for SudokuPad and not only for this, but for all of it. And Sven, I don't know how much sleep you got in the past 2 weeks, but I suspect it was not enough. And so we thank you for everything you've been doing. And all of the folks who've been organizing this stream. Karabet, who
It's the driving force.
was the
behind
driving
this.
force behind getting SudokuCon started in the first place. And certainly the gas team, who are up next, for all they've done with their daily puzzles, the daily gas puzzles that are sort of the point into variant Sudoku for so many people. Certainly thanking BremSter and James Sinclair and BremSter for being guests on this segment, and then all of the students who showed up for this. Not
Yes, a
all
few
of them
had
were
to
able
leave
to
early,
be
but-
here. And it certainly was not obligatory. There was no pressure. We promise, right? Was there pressure?
No.
Okay.
Were there incentives?
Yeah, there were incentives. Yeah.
Hopefully, it was food and not grades.
Yeah, well, yes. We never bargain with grades, and we hope that none of them feel any grade pressure in general.
No.
Yeah, but they've all been wonderful. We really appreciate everything that they've brought to the table, and the fact that you were willing to come in, especially those of you who are very new to setting and solving, to solve live is an intimidating thing. We've never actually solved live. Except in front of you in class. So we've done recorded solves for BremSter, but we've not done a live solve on stream. So you notice we put you in the hot seat instead of us.
We should also thank people behind F puzzles.
Absolutely.
Afraid Not and Ranks for all of
Yes.
the hard work they put in.
So
And
Zemek,
Sazimic for their hard work on Sudoku Maker, which are just two fantastic
Yeah.
platforms for assisting with setting.
yes.
And BremSter for the solves you do of our puzzles. We get a kick out of it when you solve a puzzle,
Yeah. And of our
Well-
students.
especially
Yeah.
of our students. Yes.
And I would like
Well-
to just clarify that we do not, in fact, have iFletcher duct taped to a chair in the other room, regardless of what he says in
He's
chat.
not.
No, if I've
Very-
been willing to be here, he'd have been in this room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brem.
I mean-
Sorry.
Very quickly, I want to say recently, because I've started setting with my mother, Maggie and I have started setting puzzles, and seeing the
they're
two of
beautiful
you solve those, and the joy in Maggie's face when that happens, I kind of miss all of that because of where I've positioned myself with what I do. So I kind of am behind the scenes of solving on camera. So I kind of miss a lot of that vibe. Even when I get a cracking the cryptic solve, it's like I kind of know the magic behind it. But when I see the sparkle in Maggie's eyes when you solve one of her puzzles, yeah, I can kind of get it now. It's a different experience that I kind of miss out on, which is a bit weird. Yeah. So thank
We
you.
have really enjoyed that series, and we're looking forward to more.
100%.
Seem to be a conversation killer.
Well, there's a little bit of lag, so we're trying to make sure that you're done speaking, so we're not talking over you. And on that note, I think that we are going to go to break with that final thank you, and we're looking forward to moving into the audience seat for the gas stream that comes up next. So we'll see you all back here after a break.
Bye.
Thanks, BremSter.
Bye.